Football's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football. Hey, this is for all the people who said I'm not a real English football fan. This is for all you haters out there. What is this? 2003, 2004? Come on now. BT Ariel in the house. The Helwani takeover continues. And in a matter of seconds, let's see if you can figure this out. I'm going to be joined by the legend, the inimitable, the one and only, the pride of Cyprus, the former UFC middleweight champion, my good friend and yours, DJ Mikey B. Yeah. Football's coming home. It's coming home.
Oh.
It's coming home. Mikey,
What's up, Ariel? How are you, buddy?
What do you say? Does it look good on me?
Do you know what? It actually looks very, very good. I like that you're trying to be an honorary Brit these days. I do like it. It's so transparent, but it's okay because all the support is very much welcomed.
What do you mean transparent? This is an Umbro kit, Mike. You can't. This is a throwback right here. You can't just buy this off a store today. Come on, I'm genuine. I'm authentic.
Hey, listen, whatever. It is coming home, so I don't care. As I said, I appreciate all the support. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. And you see, that's the difference between me and you. When you joined an American broadcasting company, you didn't try to endear yourself to them. But here I am, BT Ariel, a part of the English crew, and I try to immerse myself in the culture, Mike. That's the kind of guy that I am.
Anytime I say anything, all I get is 1776 thrown in my face. Go back to your own country and all this type of stuff. So forgive me if I didn't do that, but I am proud to be English and I will remain English. I am loyal to my country. I love living in America. It's great. I love it. But I don't proclaim to be American just when they're doing well in sports like you're doing. I don't just jump on the bandwagon, Ariel.
I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that kind of guy, Mike. But enough about football. We're here to talk a little MMA, mixed martial arts. You're in Vegas. I am not. They stopped me at the border, unfortunately. Yes, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I have an apology to make. Big apology to everyone that was expecting me to be on the BT Sport weighing show, okay?
What happened?
I wasn't there. I missed the goddamn show, and I'm so embarrassed, and I apologize profusely. And everybody thinks, knowing my reputation, I know what they think. Oh, he went out in Vegas, he got hammered, all the rest of it. Nothing like that at all. I went to bed nice and early. I've been run ragged all week. I thought to myself, my call time on ESPN is 2:15. I'm going to put my phone on airplane mode. I blacked out the shades. I'm going to have a nice lie-in. And then I woke up, took my phone off airplane mode. I had about 50 messages. Totally just forgot. So anyone who expected me on there, Adam and Nick, of course, my apologies. And the whole team at BT Sport, I'm an idiot. People say I've changed. I wish I could change. So yeah, there you go. There is my apology.
So now it all makes sense. This is your punishment. They said, all right, you missed the weigh-in. You have to come talk to Ariel. That's what happened?
Yeah, and I said anything but Ariel. Come on, don't make me speak to him. Ariel, it's a shame you're not here, my friend. I was looking forward to doing some stuff in person with you.
Next time for sure. I can't wait. By the way, I have to give you props, Mike. I know we like to, take the piss. The interviews are great. They really are. And, you don't see – this is the truth. For someone who, adores the art of interviewing, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
It's very hard sometimes for athletes to transition over into interviewer because you're so used to having someone ask you questions and you're the center of attention. Your interview, the one you did with Dustin, fantastic, really was. Really? I don't know if this is something you've worked on or if this is something you thought about or just thrown into, but kudos, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that, Ariel. And yeah, it is weird. I got to say, it has been very, very strange for me because you're right, I did used to be the center of attention. I did used to have people asking me all these questions. And I remember, on my podcast, Lewis was like, well, you shouldn't be interviewing people on the podcast. They should be interviewing you. And I'm like, well, no, I mean, my time in the sun is gone. It's past, and that's great. I'm very happy. But I must admit, it did feel strange. I was lucky because obviously I do my own podcast and we have fighters on there now. So I kind of got used to it. The first few times I actually spoke to any fighters it was weird. It was strange. I struggled because I'm never short of something to say. But it's weird in an
Why
interview.
was it
Like,
weird? What was weird about it? You felt
I
like,
don't know. It just felt so alien to me because it was something that I'd never done. You know, because obviously when you're, you know this, you're one of the best in the business. When you're doing the interview, you're kind of guiding it through certain topics. You got to keep the conversation flowing. And yeah, it was definitely a transition phase, but I'm enjoying it. I am. I did the one with Dustin and it got great feedback. But immediately after, I was like, man, that was terrible. That was awful. But
like
then when I
seconds
saw it,
after, right? Seconds
yeah,
after. Yeah, yeah.
seconds
I'm the
after,
same
I'm
way.
like, that sucked. That was terrible. I was like, I wish I could have done it again. But then when I watched it back, I was pleasantly surprised. So, but yeah, no, I really appreciate the feedback, Ariel. Thank you.
I mean, even asking him, you know, let's be honest, the DM stuff with the like a lot of, you know, because you're part of a fraternity
Yep.
and there's a bond, and maybe you don't want to go there and this and that. Like you were asking him some, you know, some doozies. Also, and this is just, you know, I like talking about this stuff. I hope the fans do as well. Like even your body language, you're leaning in, you're interested, as opposed to like, oh, I have to be here. I'm asking this guy. He's beneath whatever. It's none of that. The Tyson one was cool too. I like the way it was shot. So anyway, I hope you do more of it. I know it's weird for an athlete to transition into
Yeah.
that role, but I think you're great at it.
But thank you, Ariel. As I say, you are one of the best, and I truly mean that. So I do appreciate it. And yeah, I never even thought about that actually. The body language and stuff. Yeah, interesting. See, I'm learning from the
There you
master
go.
all the time. But still, we aren't here to talk about me.
No,
We're not
well,
here to talk about
no,
you.
no, we're not.
We're
We're
here
not.
to
We're not.
talk about. Shame you're not here in Vegas because it really is, you know,
So,
buzzing
so
with excitement for this fight this weekend.
okay. So can I live vicariously? Can we all live vicariously through you? Tell it. What is the buzz like? This is a big deal. It's not just Connor Dustin 3. It's the first show back at T-Mobile.
Mm.
Vegas is open. It's July. It's usually a big show, international fight week, etc. Paint the picture. What is the buzz like?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just went for a little 4 mile run there on the strip in
Ooh.
115-degree heat. Not advisable. Halfway in, I regretted it majorly. I got halfway. My route was 2 miles that way, cross over a bridge and come back. When I got halfway there, I'm like, what am I doing? Anyway, I digress. As I was running through, I mean, it's just UFC T-shirts, chants of McGregor everywhere. The occasional person, hey, you're that washed-up ex-fighter with one eye. There was
Yeah,
one
right.
person recognized me, but yeah, as I say, everywhere you go, I mean, you can't get away from McGregor's face on the back of taxis, on billboards. It's just everywhere you go. And yeah, I mean, listen, McGregor's very polarizing, but he has got tremendous support here. As I say, just running down the street there, people chanting McGregor. You know, it was 12 o'clock on a Friday. You know, it's not Saturday night yet, and people are already getting very, very excited. And of course, you saw the press conference yesterday. Unbelievable. I'll be at the ceremonial weigh-ins later today and get a real taste of the excitement then.
Okay, so let me ask you about the press conference because we like to, in the media and the fans as well, we like to dissect every single thing that Connor gives us throughout fight week, like from the interviews, his
Yeah.
demeanor, press conference. We almost do it ad nauseum. And the last two times, for the last two fights, it was almost like he was bestowing the honor of fighting him to his opponent. It was hugs, it was exchanging of gifts. This time, it was more pre-Khabib Connor than the one that fought Cerrone or Dustin back in January. Did it feel like he was trying too hard to get under Dustin's skin? Did it feel like he was a little too unhinged? What did you make of I mean, you're the king of this stuff. You know about the mental warfare. What was your assessment of Connor in the press conference yesterday?
In terms of him doing what he needs to do to win this fight and get a mental edge, I thought he did a great job. You know,
Really?
I saw a lot of people, you know, I went to the YouTube comment section real quick. As we know, that's a very toxic place to be. And a lot of people say, oh, McGregor trying too hard. He's trying to be the old McGregor, which I didn't really see. But listen, he came out and, as we know, he was trying to get at him straight away. The whole performance, he looks very, very confident. I think he truly believes, and he does believe. You know, this is the great thing about McGregor and any elite fighter. They truly believe in themselves. They truly believe they can go out there and beat any man. So it's not fake from McGregor. And I think all this is fueled by the fact that he was embarrassed last time. You know, he can have all the money in the world. He can be a two-weight division champion. His legacy set in stone. But still, you're only as good as your last performance. And the last time we saw him, he got knocked out against Dustin. And listen, look at the Khabib fight. Remember all those posts about Khabib? He refused to accept the loss and blamed Khabib for being a pussy or whatever he said. You know, he dissected the rounds and he feels that he won every round. Some people may say that's delusional, and it kind of is. But still, it's that refusal to accept defeat that what kind of makes it so great as well. You know, but I thought Dustin was good. I thought he did get at Dustin here and there. You know, it looked like Dustin was starting to crack a little bit.
Really?
I'm sure his girlfriend or fiance, wife, pardon me, probably his wife, pardon me. I'm sure she said, because I was talking about this last night, if that was Rebecca, if that was my wife, she would have been like, Michael, listen, you know he's going to try and get under your skin. You know he's going to talk a lot of shit. You know he's going to say things. Just stay calm, stay calm. But as soon as he would have mentioned my wife, I would have lost the absolute plot. So fair play to Dustin for handling it so well.
I thought he handled it great. I actually thought in January he looked a lot nervous in the pre-fight press conference. I actually think he was more comfortable with Conor not trying to be his friend and Conor taking shots at him. I thought, you know, the line about McGregor's fast asleep or whatever, I thought that was a good line from Dustin. I thought he handled himself great for the most part. Now, so then let me ask you this. As far as Dustin is concerned, it feels to me like there's more pressure on his shoulders for this reason. You lose to Conor, you go back to the end of the queue, so to speak. As you know, it's funny, I was talking about you earlier today. People were asking me, is this do or die for Conor? Is this his last chance? Blah, blah, blah. I said, throughout Michael Bisping's career, I think we might have said, is this do or die for Michael 15 times? And then in the end, he got to the title shot. I don't think this is do or die for Conor whatsoever. I think he loses this fight. He wins another one, he's back in the title picture. For Dustin, he's got to work his way back up because he's not the star that Conor is. Would you agree with the sentiment that there's more pressure actually on Dustin's shoulders than Conor's?
Yeah, because listen, the star that is Conor McGregor is never going to go away, regardless of what happens. If he gets knocked out by the first punch that he's thrown, he's still got millions of fans all over the world clamoring to see him fight again. He's always going to be able to generate massive amounts of revenue. He's always going to be a superstar. And as you say, 1 or 2 fights, boom, he's right there. He's back in the mix. Yes, you're right. That was a good line by Dustin Poirier saying the McGregor sleep. But I also thought a fantastic line by McGregor was that you are, oh my God, my mind's gone blank, Buster Douglas. You're Buster Douglas here. And I thought that was a great comparison because for those that don't know, Buster Douglas, if you don't know his name, he shot to fame. He was a great boxer, of course, but he came into the general peripheral of casual fans, if you will, by knocking out Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson took him lightly. By all accounts, I heard Mike Tyson was, he was up to no good all fight week, and enjoying himself and partying and overlooking his opponent. Buster Douglas knocked him out. Everybody knew his name, but then Tyson came back and knocked him out. I thought that was a great comparison.
But is it a fair comparison? Dustin Poirier has accomplished way more than Buster did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You froze up for a second there. No, Dustin's done great things. I mean, look at the run he's had at lightweight. Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje, Anthony Pettis. I could go on all day. Since he came up to lightweight, other than Michael Johnson and Khabib, he's been tremendous and he's shown incredible amounts of heart. So, no, it's not an accurate comparison, but I see the point that Conor was making. He said, listen, you had your time in the sun. That was your big moment. You knocked me out. Now I'm going to make you pay. So there is a lot of pressure on Dustin because right now, 50% of this big fight card is Dustin Poirier. And if he continues it and he knocks out Conor again or beats Conor again, then, of course, title fights, he'll be a legend, yada, yada, yada. He'll be a legend anyway. He'll be in the Hall of Fame, I'm sure, one day as well. But still, there's going to be a big difference to the general perspective of Dustin on Monday if he wins compared to if he loses.
What do you think of this whole storyline that, Conor focused too much on the boxing last time around? Now he doesn't have the boxing coach, Phil Sutcliffe, in him. He's back. You're not buying any of this?
No.
Why? Tell me.
Because, listen, it's a great line for McGregor and it's a good line for his team. I know how to fight, okay? I won the world title with no training camp. Never mind focusing on boxing or focusing on kicking or focusing on jiu-jitsu. The skills are inbred into us. We have done this our entire life. Like when I took that title fight against Rockhold on 2 weeks' notice, I called Perillo. I was full of doubt. I said, and I'm sorry to talk about myself, but it's obviously I can give a comparison.
No, this is great.
I called Perillo and I'm like, oh man, I was having self-doubt. I've always wanted a title fight. Now I'll get it on 2 weeks' notice against a guy that's already beaten me. But I was running at the time. I said, Mike, how long have you been running? I'm sure you've heard the story, about 4 miles. He said, see, you're in shape. He said, you know how to fight. You've been training your entire life. You just got to go out there and perform. So the point I'm making is McGregor knows how to check leg kicks. He knows how to fight. And yeah, okay, he might have been focusing on boxing. But even for this camp, he doesn't need to go away and learn those skills. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he might be focusing on boxing. That's a good thing to do. It's good to focus on your boxing. It's good to focus on your jiu-jitsu. It's a very, very handy excuse for why you got your ass kicked.
Okay, that's fair. Let me ask you about this one. obviously there's never been a star in MMA like Conor, right? Most famous fighter of all
Yep.
time in the history. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. But you
Nope.
really you reached a level of fame, you made money, all that stuff. And every time I think of Conor, I think of the famous line
I didn't
from
make
the
enough. I'm talking to you now, Anna.
that's true. That's
I'm
true.
kidding. I'm kidding.
That's true. Hey, listen, yeah, none of you make enough if you ask me. That's
No,
a
no,
whole
no.
other story for a
I'm
different day.
joking. That
I
was
know you
a
get
stupid
nervous.
little joke.
You get
And
you
by the
get
way,
nervous.
I love
Yeah,
doing this. I love doing this. I
I
love
know you
all
do.
the media stuff.
Especially
Anyway, sorry. Continue.
no, no. I heard that you told the bosses, "Oh my gosh, you got Ariel. Wow, what a great signing this is. We're going to be absolute gold." Ariel and the Count. I mean, are you
We
kidding
are.
me?
Never
Yeah.
mind DC. Never mind DC. I'm here. I'm here to take over. He's old
Amen.
news. He
Amen.
binned you off anyway for this RC guy.
Yeah. What is that? Okay. Anyway, listen.
I met him last night. Very nice guy, by the way. Anyway, your
Don't say
question.
that. Don't say that. That's like telling your wife that you met her
He was a
ex-boyfriend.
nice guy, Ariel.
Come
He
on.
was
They were
funny.
hanging
He
out.
was charming.
They were hanging out socially.
No, last night Michael Eves and RC came in. He introduced me, and
Come
I
on, Mike.
thought
You
that's a
said
spot.
I'm an Ariel guy, right? You said
I
you're
said,
pushing.
Ryan, what do I do to get in your good graces? Give me a number, please. Anyway, go on. You had a question
Okay,
for
okay,
me.
okay. The late great marvelous Marvin Hagler once said,
Yep.
"It is hard to wake up at 5 a.m., pound the pavement when you're sleeping in satin sheets." You know what that
Yes.
means, right?
Yes.
That desire goes away. It's not unique to Conor McGregor. It's a fighter thing, right? It's a fight game thing. You guys come a lot of times from nothing. You make it. You've fought. You've scratched. You've clawed. You've sacrificed. And then at some point you're like, I don't want to wake up anymore. I don't want to push myself. Do you feel like that's a real thing? Do you feel like Conor has experienced that? And is there no turning back once you do?
It is a real thing. It is a real thing because that is why we do it for the most part. You know, fighters are cut from a certain cloth, and most of the time you will see that they come from, it doesn't have to be a terrible background, but we're certainly not born with a silver spoon in our mouth. You know, most of the time there's a bit of hardship, maybe a bit of violence, maybe, you know, not much money growing up, not much of an education, you know, and we figure out because we come from the rough side of town, maybe, that we know how to fight and all the rest of it. And if you're good and you're skilled, then you see an avenue to make some money and maybe try and get out of the poverty or whatever it is, whatever your situation is. And then when you reach that kind of the level that McGregor has, with the kind of money that he has, you know, yeah, of course, that fire doesn't burn as strongly. Of course it doesn't. But McGregor prides himself on his fighting ability, just like I did. When I was younger, it was a personality flaw. You know, it's not a normal thing. All I cared about was being the best fighter. And when I was a kid, if there was a kid in another town close by that thought he could beat me in a fight, we'd meet on a park somewhere and we'd go and figure it out because I wanted to be the top guy. I wanted to be the tough guy. And it's weird. That's not a normal personality trait to have, but it's all we've got. That's our identity. So we've got to take it as far as we can. But McGregor's done that. He's earned the money. But as I say, that's all well and good having all that, but he prides himself on his fighting ability, and you cannot buy the lightweight championship of the world. All the money in the world cannot buy that. You've got to earn that, and you've got to earn that the hard way. And now it's not even about the belt anymore. This is about pride. This is about man to man. Conor got knocked out, right? He's angry because he's embarrassed, right? And all the money in the world can't change that, right? You got knocked out. The only way to eradicate that is to go out and beat Dustin Poirier. So in terms of motivation for this fight, there's tremendous motivation for Conor McGregor. Listen, he's not bothered about if he makes any more money going forward. Of course, he loves money. He wants to make more of it, of course. But he's set in stone. He can sit on his ass all day long. This is about pride, and this is about showing the world, hey, listen, I'm the true champ. I'm the uncrowned champion. I could beat Khabib if I got a shot at a rematch and blah, 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 all these other things that he says. But this is about pride above everything else.
What a promo that is. Can you give me a football's coming home, Mike? Football's coming home.
It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Darren's on the live.
Stop
He's
going
on
on, mate.
live. He's
Stop
on
going
the
on.
live.
Shut up. Sounds like the worst self-help book you've ever read. Shut the fuck up.
Believe it. Darren, what's going on, mate?
Well, home, mate, just chill. In the car as usual, you know.
Why is he always in his damn car, this guy?
You know me,
Let
mate.
me guess.
Just sucking
You're
a
off to
dab.
McDonald's.
No.
Every time I speak to him, he's in the car, always driving whilst FaceTime. You want to watch that, mate? And he's always off for a McFlurry from McDonald's.
What's happening?
We're
Well, hey, Darren, I missed the BT Sport Wayne show this morning. So what's going on is I'm doing a bit of ass kissing. I'm trying to make up for it. I totally forgot about it. Everyone thinks I went out and got hammered. That is not the case. I've just done a 4-mile run. Look at me. I'm and the vision of health and beauty.
Well,
so basically, this is a little arse kiss here. Very sorry, BT Sport.
Well, that's very funny. That's very funny because a source close to who was very good friend told me that you did go out last night.
You're a liar. You are a lying bastard. That's
Come on,
hilarious.
Mike. Come clean.
What are we talking about, guys?
Right,
What are we talking about?
Darren. Well, I don't know if you know about this, but there's a big fight this weekend. McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. I know you sent me a video in, but that video is not on this live right now. Give us, or give the people, a prediction. How do you think this goes down this weekend?
And by the way, before you do that, Darren, can you take the damn chewing gum out of your mouth? I mean, have some manners, for God's sake.
Just go,
mate.
You just get back to fucking your wife with that nose and shut the fuck up.
Listen.
Go ahead, Darren. Go ahead.
I don't know why, right? Man, I got loads of time and love for Dustin. I just want to see Conor win for some reason. I don't know why. I'd love to see him just have that last hurrah. You know what I'm talking about, Mike, don't you? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if he wins and if he doesn't, you know, his legacy's still his legacy. But listen, things are better when Conor's around. Am I right? And if Conor loses this weekend, I think that is definitely the last we'll see of him. I do genuinely think that.
Yeah, well, I said that this week. I think there's a potential. I mean, he doesn't know yet, but if he gets knocked out again, which is it is a possibility. Yeah, maybe he does. Maybe he takes his ball and goes home. Says, nah, screw this. I've made enough money. I'm going to do something else. He always said he was going to get in, get rich, and get out. Well, he's got in. He won 2 belts. He's definitely got rich. The only thing left to do is get out. And I know he said yesterday, listen, I'll fight forever. I'll do this till I'm 50 or whatever because I love this game. But you feel differently when you carry on getting knocked out. Now, as you say, the sport is way better with McGregor involved, right? He brings excitement like nobody else does. And I'm telling you, from what I saw at the press conference yesterday, he is fired up. And Dustin better be ready in that first round because I've got a feeling, I still think Dustin can beat him in round 3 if he gets to round 3. But I've got a feeling we might see another Donald Cerrone style performance. The way he was talking yesterday, he looked so fucking pissed off, pardon my language. I think he's just going to go forward as soon as that bell rings and he's going to go at him in kill mode.
Darren, you said you want Conor to win, but you think you're picking with your heart here. But what about your mind? Give us the official prediction.
No, it's not that I want Conor to win. Like, I'd love to see Poirier do it as well. Like that would cement his name, down in history books. But I think people are very quick to forget, and I think there's just too. I don't know whether he deserves it or not, but I think there's a lot of hate being directed towards Conor that he's not up to par, that he's let his eye off the ball. So maybe, as Mike just said, we see him come in there in round 1 and just get Dustin out of there. Where I'm 50-50 at the moment here, and so I should be 50-50 because it's one apiece. This is the decider of this fight, innit? On Saturday tomorrow, it's going to be 2-1 to someone. Who is it going to be?
So Mike, is that your official prediction? Conor in 1?
Well, I mean, as Darren just said, no one knows how this is going to go down. They're both capable of finishing the fight. I think Conor in round 1, Dustin in round 3. It all depends whether or not Dustin can get out of that first round. Conor's going to go at him a million miles an hour, super aggressive, throw caution to the wind and try and knock him out and put a big exclamation point on it and then never think about Dustin Poirier ever again. But if he doesn't do that, he's going to empty his tank. I've said this all week. You can't be a sprinter and a marathon runner at the same time. You just can't. The physiological makeup doesn't work like that. Conor's a sprinter, and he's a fantastic sprinter. He's going to go out there. He's going to redline it to the max in round 1. And if he doesn't get the job done, he's going to run out of gas. And then Dustin's going to take over. And I think that's what's going to happen.
I said, Mike, and you know this because you've got what probably had one of the best cardios in UFC. For me, it all comes down to, have you been in the gym and have you been doing your rounds and rounds and rounds of sparring and pads and, all that shit that comes with it? And if he hasn't done that, he's not going to survive the 5 rounds. That's just plain.
I totally agree. And we were just talking about all the cash that McGregor has, right? And his motivation for this fight and all the rest of it. And I was like, yeah, listen, obviously this is all about pride now, so it doesn't matter about money. You know, he's got to win this fight. But when you have the cash, you only get that cardio and you get that kind of condition by killing yourself in the gym, pushing yourself to the limit every day. You know, your coach is driving you into the ground, running sprints up hills, hitting pads a million miles an hour, round after round, hitting the bags, having multiple training partners trying to take you down, trying to ground and pound you, trying to get back to your feet, and you kill yourself. You know what it's like, Darren. That's why so many people get injured, but it's a fine line. You've got to push yourself to the max, just enough that you don't get injured. And I don't know, has he done that? Has he done that? Nobody knows. We'll only find out on Saturday night.
Can I ask you, Mike, you know, throughout your career, you were very good about propping up the younger European stars, the fellow Brits. You did a great job of being sort of the leader and the ambassador. How do you feel about Darren always trying to suppress the fellow, you know, Scousers? And
are you still...
Why does he not give back to the younger fighters?
You're going the right way for another viral video to get plugged in. Shut your fucking mouth, Ariel.
Listen,
Mike, this will make you very happy. I've just been having food in Alderley Edge, right?
Nice place.
The guy comes up to me and he goes, "Oh yeah, do you have a MMA fight at Till?" I'm like, yeah. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I only watch it for Mike Bisping." And I thought, you cheeky fucking cunt, get out my face now. So you haven't forgot about you?
Thanks, Darren. No, I'm very happy being Uncle Michael these days. You know, I take them all under my wing. I give them a little bit of guidance. I bring them on my podcast. You know, I'm just trying to rise them up. I want the next generation. I'm very happy and proud to be the only champ that we've had so far. But I ain't going to be the last. And I can't wait until we get another one. And Darren Till right here, I say it time and time again. I'm telling you. What are you down? 27, 28?
28, mate, yeah.
Getting old. I thought he was 27. I don't know. You might have missed your boat, actually,
Darren.
Who has the best chance to be the next? Who has the best chance to be the next British champion?
Well,
Allen.
It's Darren or Leon, isn't it? Let's be honest.
What about Arnold?
I think, mate, I think we do look past Arnold, man. He's fucking so good. He is so good. I don't
100%.
Are you aware of Arnold much? I mean, just because me and Ariel were talking about it last night, I went on and watched a few of his fights. Man, he is fucking solid, Ariel. He's solid in that octagon. He's solid.
Yeah, I've commentated a couple of his fights. He's fantastic. Yeah. What is he on? Like a 7-fight win streak. He's got no weak areas. He's kind of like Leon Edwards, if you will, in terms of, you know, technically he's very, very good, but he doesn't say too much, and he's flying under the radar. I think his last 2 fights were in the States, so that's going to be good for his brand, for his recognition. I really just think the only thing that's kind of holding him back is his, for want of a better word, his level of fame. No one really knows who he is, but in terms of what he can do in the octagon, absolutely world class, and definitely flying under the radar.
I think his next fight is sort of like a, you know, that hit into the top 10. Forget the talking. I think his next fight is going to be that solid top 10 guy, where that's where he really shines then and shows all of these other guys, right, yeah, I'm here to stay. I'm a top 10 guy. I'm going to beat the top 5. That's like to solidify his position. Because there's always a break in the mic, like, to get into like that top 10 and sort of show your stamp and your name and stuff like that. I think his next fight is exactly that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I've got a question for you, though, Darren.
Go on. No,
How do going at me? Oh, you know, Darren's going to be the next champ. You're not going to be the only champ for long, and all the rest of it. How does it feel, Darren, to not be the most popular Scouser in the UFC? Paddy Pimblett's taking your spot, mate.
Yes.
Are you on the same with Ariel? Are you turning against me? I know.
Paddy the Baddy, mate. You're so 2017, Darren. Come on, it's all about Paddy the Baddy.
He's about to take over the show. I'll give him that.
I love. Hey, okay, Mike? I asked.
Ariel, listen, Ariel. I've got to go. I just want to ask you one question before I go.
Did you swallow your gum? Did you swallow your gum? Where did the gum go?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. How did the nose joke go down with your wife?
Stop it. This is a G-rated show, okay, Darren? Get out of here.
Can you not swear on this, Mike?
No, this is BT Sport.
Fucking twat, dickhead, cunt.
Stop.
Oh my God.
This guy.
You're gonna love Darren.
I do love that. I was just about to ask you about this. Is why we're on the same wavelength, Mike. We're on the same wavelength here. I'll keep you for just a couple more minutes, and then I know you have a lot of things to do over there, like nothing. And say sorry to all the BT people for missing the weigh-in show. In any
Hey,
event,
I'm a busy man. I had a
I know.
podcast, I had ABC, I had ESPN, I had Daily Wager, I had interviews, I've got a weigh-in show. And I'll say this. Normally, there's a lot of correspondence. They send links and all the rest. There was nothing. There was no talk of it all week. I spoke to some of the execs at BT Sport last night about some other stuff. They never mentioned it. And in my mind, I was like, the weigh-ins at 4
Not
p.m.
your fault. It's not your fault. Yeah, you're right.
It's not my
None
fault.
of it's. Yeah, no.
I'm a knucklehead. I've been hit in the head many, many times. I need constant reminders. Okay.
Is Patty for real? Do you believe in Patty? Or, can I just say something? Patty has that it thing that you were talking about that maybe Arnold and Leon don't. The personality, the look, all that stuff. But let's call it like we see it. Love Cage Warriors. I know you have a history. The Cage Warriors alum have not done great recently in the UFC, right? They've been great in Cage Warriors. They haven't had success in the UFC. Can Patty get it done in the UFC?
To be honest, I can't really give an accurate assessment. I've seen like a few of his highlights, and when he's had a win, I've seen like on YouTube or whatever. I've seen the knockout or the finish or whatever. But I haven't really followed his career close enough to give an accurate assessment. But by all accounts, the man's for real and he's got a bright future. He kind of came to my consciousness when he started talking a lot of smack about me. To be honest, a while ago, yeah, no, there's no beef. There's no beef. This is how I first heard the name. Someone put me onto it. They said, "Oh, have you seen this, Mike?" And he was like, someone asked him, "Oh, you're going to be the next champ. You're going to be like Michael Bisping." And he's like, "Yeah, but yeah, all right, mates. Yeah, but when I win, I'm not going to go over to America. I'm going to stay here in England. Okay." He's a fake Englishman or something like that. And I was like,
wow.
Yeah, no, but God bless him. He's just trying to make some waves. By all accounts, tons of hype, and I can't wait to see what he can do. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, a very diplomatic answer by you. 2 last questions. Number 1, Wonder Boy Gilbert. Who's your pick? That's the one that's completely flying under the radar. That would be a main event on a fight night or whatever. Who's winning that one? That's a tough one for me to call.
Tremendous fight. Love both guys. Love Gilbert. Just what a decent human being. And come on, Stephen Thompson. I mean, maybe the nicest man you could ever possibly meet. Nothing but love, respect, admiration for both of them. I think when you look at it, I think Gilbert's got a tough fight on his hands. There's similarities of Gilbert to Tyrone Woodley in terms of good boxer, heavy hands, excellent grappling. We saw the blast double he hit Tyrone Woodley with. He can take people down. And if he gets you down, you're in a world of trouble. However, he's taken on a specialist in Stephen Thompson that's done this forever. And I did a little bit of point karate stuff when I was a kid, right? And it's incredible the way these guys can move, the speed that they have, the coordination that they have over the body. And I think Gilbert's going to have a tough time getting in on the inside, getting a hold of him, or even landing his shots. Stephen is able to use his legs. He has so much dexterity. He can use his legs almost as a jab. You know what I mean? And the footwork that he has, the ability to get in and get out and circle around. I mean, when he fought and beat Jeff Neal, I was calling that fight and I was amazed by what I saw. It was poetry in motion. It was just a sublime performance. So maybe it's a little bit of recency bias. And of course, last time we saw Gilbert, he got finished by Kamaru Usman. Even though he looked sensational in round one, I thought he was going to knock him out.
Me too.
But yeah, I've kind of got a sneaky feeling that Stephen's going to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if Gilbert pulls it off, but my pick is Wonder Boy. And honestly, I think he's a bad matchup for Kamaru Usman as well.
Wow.
And again, I love Kamaru Usman. I'm a huge fan. You can't hate on what he's doing. The knockout power's really developed. The wrestling's there. He's on an incredible run. I'm not saying that as a negative to Kamaru Usman. I just feel that his style could possibly be a kryptonite to Kamaru Usman. I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. I love Kamaru, but I'm just stylistically, we might see Stephen Wonderboy Thompson end his career as champion of the world. Could you imagine that?
Amazing, much like yours. Now, speaking of that, I have to just say something straight up. I don't like seeing you and Rockhold buddy in the gym. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. It doesn't feel right to me, okay? Why are we doing this?
Well, it might not last for long because I've got a documentary coming out soon. When he sees the documentary, I don't think he's going to be very kind to me. Bearing in mind, this was filmed like 2 years ago now.
I know.
So it's a little outdated. Are you there? Sorry, mate. I tried to slide something away, and I actually answered a text message. Yeah, no. Listen, Luke's great. You know, it's great to have him in the gym, and that's all old
I don't
news.
like it.
You know, to be honest, a lot of people say that. They say I don't like it. That version of me as the fighter, that guy's dead now. He doesn't really exist. If I ever stumble across like an old clip of me fighting or whatever, I think, wow, he was crazy. And then like I saw the fight against Conley, and I get on the microphone, I'm like, I'm going to be the champion, and blah, 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 blah. And I sit there thinking, that's wild to me. I had one eye. I knew I had one eye. I was lying to everybody. Where did that confidence come from to be so adamant about it? It's crazy to look back, but you get older, you mature, you slow down, and you end up speaking to Ariel Helwani for a living.
I love it. When's the documentary coming out, by the way, officially?
Well,
when can we see it?
Well, it got released on Super Channel in Canada because they paid for it, but we have the worldwide rights, and we are releasing it through a giant studio, the biggest studio in the world. There's a big hint, but we can't say. We have to, for some reason, mum's the word. They want to do a proper announcement, but I believe October. It's going to be great. I think people
will it be
really
theater release or like on a streaming platform? We could see it.
Yeah, I think it's going to start on a streaming platform, but I'm not sure. The details are a little shaky, but yeah.
Am I in it? Did I make the cut?
You are in it. Yeah, there's a lot of great talent. You're in it. DC's in it. Rashad's in it. George St. Pierre's in it. Vin Diesel, Mickey Rourke, Michael Jai White, Scott Adkins, Dana White. You know, there's a lot of talking heads in there. So thank you to everybody, including yourself, that took time to do so.
Okay, and last question. What's the update? I saw the clip. You and the future legend, Callum Bisping. I saw you guys hitting mitts. I saw him out there. When's the debut? Tell us.
Well, first of all, we're trying to get him to the UK, but because he's got a selection for the Commonwealth Games.
Oh, okay.
He's got a selection for the wrestling team, but there's a 10-day quarantine, so it's throwing a lot of problems out there. Come on, UK government, sort it out. No, he cornered a friend of his in an MMA fight, someone on his wrestling team, and his friend dominated the fight. And he said, I can beat that guy. I know I can. So that kind of got his brain thinking. So he said, I think I want to take an amateur fight. Would you train me? I said, well, yeah, I'd love to if that's what you want to do. You know, who knows? Listen, he's such a smart kid. He's such a great guy. And he's a good person. As I said before, I'm not saying he can't do it, but fighters, they've got a nastiness in them. You know, you've got to see a guy that's in a bad position and he's got blood coming out of his nose, and maybe his nose is broken, he's got a black eye, and you've got to have the meanness in you to take hold of his ears or his hair and drive your knee into his face, to take your elbow and smash him to pieces. It's not a normal thing to do, you know, and he has the athletic ability. He certainly has the competitive spirit and the drive. I just don't know if he has that nastiness and that meanness in him, because I was such a great father, Ariel.
I know. But then listen, you could turn it on. Look at Wonder Boy. I mean, who's nicer than that guy?
Yeah,
And look what he does.
No, exactly. So maybe that's not a fair assessment. But right now he's focusing on the Commonwealth Games. He's going to go out there for trials, and then hopefully after that, the Olympics. We'll see. Because the good news is he's going to walk onto the team, because he's a very, very good wrestler by American standards. No offense to any wrestling people in the UK, but we're not known for being the best wrestlers.
I know.
So hopefully he makes the cut. But listen, it's all about McGregor. It's about Dustin Poirier. If you go to BT Sport box office, you got to buy the pay-per-view. Buy it nice and early, because there's going to be a massive, massive drive. People are going to be buying it. There might be system malfunctions. Buy the pay-per-view now. And we're going to be back with a post-fight show on Sunday or Monday. I can't wait for it. It's going to be electric. It's going to be bananas. I'm going to go missing again. Don't worry, BT Sport. You're not going to be the only ones. I'm going to flake on ESPN. I'm going to get fired by everybody. And until then, Ariel, take care. God bless. Much love. Enjoy the fights. And I'm out of here.
And come on, England.
Oh, come on, England. Let's go. It's coming home. We know
it's
this.
Coming home.
Never mind McGregor. Tomorrow versus Italy. Come on.
Not tomorrow, Sunday. Jeez,
Sunday, whatever. I don't know what day it is, Ariel. Our pets' heads are falling off.
All right. Yes. Great line there from Dumb and Dumber. Thank you, Mike. All is forgiven. They just sent me a note. They said you smashed it. So don't worry about the weigh-in, okay? Well done.
I'm not fired.
You're not fired. You're not fired. You're a part of my team. Take care, Mike. Thank you. Good
Ariel,
luck out
you're
there.
The man. Take care, buddy.
There he is. The one and only Michael Bisping, the former middleweight champ, now member, of course, of the BT team. And what great coverage we have given to all of you, and what an honor it is for me to be a part of this squad. The social coverage, the digital coverage, the linear coverage, and like Michael said, BT Sport box office this weekend, late Saturday, early Sunday, July 10, July 11, the trilogy, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, number 3. It all goes down for all the marbles, live from Viva Las Vegas. Thank you, Darren Till. Apologies for some of the language. Thank you to the great Michael Bisping as well. Keep it locked right here on the UFC BT Sport Instagram and all their social channels. Best in the business, #1, pound for pound, right here. It's an honor to be a part of this squad, a very small part of it. And again, football's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. Peace. I'm out of here.